Good dog. Howdy, I'm Jason, and this time in the AutoEdit garage, we're gonna be fixing the truck. We're gonna be replacing this axle here. Hi, buddy. And I'll show you some of the other damage that happened on that ill-fated trip into the mountains last time. So stay tuned, let's go do this. If you haven't seen the video where I try to take the Dodge up Miller Jeep Trail and things don't go according to plan at all, please give that a watch. But in the meantime, here's a recap. I head to the hills. It's real pretty. I get lost. Then get stuck. Unstuck. Stuck again. Break the truck. Learn how to use my high-lift jack as a winch. Camp in the hills. Enjoy some trail coffee. Get some climbing out of there with two-wheel drive. And that brings you up to date. Now for a quick walk around the truck to show some of the battle scars, or as I like to call it, added character. Now these headlights are about 2 weeks old. And as you can see, I scratched the living crud out of them on the very first trip out. But I'm not going to stress. That's what they're for. They still look right. Wait till you see the side of the paint. This bumper, as you can see, was painted when I did the engine a few months ago and was just pristine. And as you can see, because I was just on the wrong trail, I was on a trail for motorcycles and side-by-sides, it just really scratched the crud out of that. But again, that's what it's for. You know what I'm impressed with is it did not break any of these lights. That is pretty rad. So I'm stoked about that. This headlight didn't take as much abuse, if you could say, hey, there's me. So there you go, that headlight's not so bad. Hopefully this will read here. Check out the new pinstriping. If some of you guys hated this paint job, well, there you go. We just made it even better with all this custom pinstriping. That taillight doesn't look bad. Got a few gouges here on the tailgate from finding stuff. I remember smashing a tailpipe, but they both look pretty good. And that's one of the benefits of having moved these things from down below the rear fender here to the rear under the bumper and made these little notches to get a little more clearance. So that I'm really happy with that. That was previous. I did not do that this time. I don't think, actually. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh yeah, there it is. So there you go. As you can see, I pretty much clobbered this, but look at that. It actually held up great. From up here, it looks perfect. Well, I mean, the bumper is trash, but for all intents and purposes, that is fantastic for the abuse that took. And let's do a quick walk around here. Just added more character to the paint job. This was all here. I do need to sand and put a little bit of paint on that to keep that from rusting any farther. I got a couple of gentle reminders on the interwebs. But yeah, it scratched it up pretty good. But that's what this truck is for. It's to go off-roading. If I make mistakes, but as you can see, the dog is out there destroying her soccer ball. You know, she only destroys it when I'm shooting videos, so go figure. We're about to dig in under here. And this is the main bit of carnage here, is that CV on this axle destroyed itself. And so we're going to replace that right now. So cue the get to work music, and here's the time lapse of me cleaning, and then pulling the brake bits off, and cleaning some more. Oh, buddy. Yeah? I can't really kick this here, but I can throw it. Go get it. So we got a preliminary clean on the inside here. There's a lot left, but I'll get to that after we get this spindle out of the way. But I want to kind of show you what we got here, what we're working with. Now, this is the half shaft, or the axle, the stub axle, and the CV that's broken. This is the guy right here. Now, what has happened is there are ball bearings that go in there, and obviously I have lost all but one of my ball bearings out of this little unit here. And what that does is that enables this little thing to turn and create the angles and still drive forward power once that axle is engaged here. So likewise, this would spin like this, turn our unit bearings. This one's from my buddy Dirthead Dave. Unit bearings for life, right? No, that's a joke. He hates unit bearings. But anyway, I like unit bearings. JK's had unit bearings. This is a unit bearing setup. It's effective. It's not the strongest thing by a long shot, but it gets the job done. Eventually I'll update that. So what's the lesson here? Well, basically just keep your balls under control and everything should be fine. You know, if your balls flop out, bad things can happen. Except for that one time in college. That ended up pretty good. So other than that, keep your balls in where they belong and everything's going to be fine. But this is still not such a bad thing. We're learning a lot about the truck and having some fun wrenching. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this stuff disassembled, and we'll get the old axle out of there and we'll stuff the new one in. Okay, so we're going to buzz through the disassembly as quickly as I can here. We'll just buzz this front tie rod off. I've already hit that with a hammer, so you may just have to smack that to get that off, but that'll enable you to be able to move this around. You want to take off. I'm going to do this just to get it out of the way. The anti-lock brake sensor. That comes off. Now that is just a precautionary thing, so I don't yank that, or if this falls, flaps open. Just safety stuff. Preservation of other parts. I've learned that over the years. Let's go ahead and buzz this nut off. What is this? It's a 1.5 socket. This could be challenging since we don't have anything back here to stop that. So you'd have to hold it here to keep that under control. Let's see what we got. So now that we have that off, we could probably give that a tap since we're not reusing it, and that'll actually just come out the back of this thing. Let's actually, oh, it's already loose. See that? It's already loose. So you can actually just pull that thing out. So that is junk. That's where my balls used to be. That's where that used to live. Now, if you had a stock truck, you'd have a ball joint up here as well for the upper control arm. Now this has a uniball, and I went ahead and loosened that thing up, and the one benefit of this is that now you just pull these bolts off, and this actually just lifts right off. You don't have to de-swedge that like you did over here. And then that swings this free and out of the way. All right, so we're gonna go back in there, we're gonna tap that a few times, and I have a little pry bar that should get that off for us. Piece of cake. One last thing I'll point out is that I really like to see that this seal in here is in great shape. No leaking. Okay, so here we go. Let's get the new axle in place. I am going to put some grease inside these threads here. Let's get this onto our axle. Stub, or I should say our stub axle. Okay, and should take a little bit of finessing because of that little clip. Okay, we have that guy in place. We now put some grease on the outside threads. I mean, we could put some grease on the outside splines. It'll be somewhat accurate here.
If this shot were in focus at all, you would see that it's just a matter of reassembly. Okay, back to the main camera. Just wanted to show you guys that sometimes these videos are tricky to manage when you're trying to move fast. I wasn't even going to shoot this repair until an Instagram friend suggested it. You know who you are, Luke. And speaking of shoutouts, this one goes out to the dudes at my local Pep Boys. I called them this morning for the axle and they had it to me by lunch. They rule. Plus, they like it when I bring Pinto shopping with me, and that's just cool. And that will do it for the axle install and update on the old Dodge here. Stay tuned to the AutoEdit YouTube channel and make sure you're subscribed because there are lots of great things coming up. Jeep upgrades and work on the Mustang. So until next time, enjoy your drive.